Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Madcapper, and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to talk to you about a champion who has become near and dear to my heart. Let's bring him up here. He is one of the newer champions, and he is by the name of Coffin Smasher. He is a Magic Affinity Knight Revenant rare HP based champion, and he is a clan boss extraordinaire. So let's quickly look at his skills. He has got a Mallet Crescendo, which is attacks one enemy 3 times, has a 15% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. This can be buffed up to tomed up to a 30%. So once you get the books up, it's a 30% chance. On his A2, he has an HP burn. It is a single enemy. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing the HP deburn for HP burn for debuff for 2 turns based on HP again, and that can go up to a 75%. And the Blue Mist, which is a passive, which makes it so incoming AoE attacks are going to be neutralized by 5% or decreased by 5%. How I read this is that it is going to, enemies inflict less damage with AoEs, not that he is receiving less damage, which means it is a team-based thing. So whatever damage the dragon or the clan boss is coming in on those AoE attacks, take 5% off, and that's what you're getting hit for, and then all the other resistance stuff. That's my understanding of it. That's how I read it. I assume that's how it's working. As for masteries, he is a debuffer, so you're going to have the debuff tree. The 3 things you need to get: Giant Slayer, because he has a 3-hit A1. For the debuff, you're going to want to get Master Hexer, which extends the duration of any debuff cast or has a 30% chance to. And of course, Sniper, which gives you that extra 5% to land the debuff. That one's especially critical because he's only got that 30% chance, and this is going to give that now a 35% chance. So with that in mind, we're now going to run him through a couple different scenarios. I'm going to do a voiceover. My original recording, I made a boo-boo, so we're going to just throw a little animation of the Coffin Smasher in the corner to hide my original video. It's just me talking, and it wouldn't make any sense because you wouldn't hear my voice. So I'm going to do a voiceover. We're going to cut to that right now, and then we'll see him in various places of the game, most importantly, the clan boss. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run him through a brutal campaign here, 12-3, as you normally would do. And this is just to kind of show that he is competent to be able to get through here. He is not going to be your farmer. He's certainly not a speed farmer. But when you're leveling up at somewhere around level 50, 51, whatever, depending on your gear, you can probably bring him in here and get that solo XP, which is absolutely awesome if you want to get him leveled quickly and get him ready to go for the clan boss or dungeons or whatever you're using him for. One thing to note is I took him to level 6 as like a food, kind of the same way I level food. Once he was 6-starred, I took him through masteries from level 1, and then I took him into the dungeon for 100 runs overnight last night. I think I used him in a couple potion runs, but not a lot. And then he was level 58, so maybe 57. I did a couple runs here just to test it. And then we recorded this, which obviously he's absolutely fine. Alright, so there you go, 46k, perfect. That's kind of exactly what we want it to be. Alright, the second thing I did is I brought him into Dragon 20. The reason why I brought him in here is to show you that if you do need that decreased attack, especially on the boss, in order to progress through Dragon 20, he is absolutely able to do it. A lot of the times, I think of my free-to-play account and other people's accounts where they talk about where they're missing one key component. Well, if that component is a decreased defense, or, for example, you have a good decreased defense, but you don't have the books to deal with them as an epic, this guy is going to be able to fill in that role until you are ready to progress 100%. As you can see here, he's having no problems. He takes damage really well, and he's able to do some reasonable damage. He's certainly not going to be your #1 damage dealer. I mean, you see what, even without debuffs. You see, Biggin hitting for 30k on each of them. He's not going to do that. He's going to hit for 10k on these guys or less, but he's going to hold his own, and his main purpose, right, is to get to that boss and drop down that decreased defense. I think here the main thing to keep in mind is that was a lot less damage. That Royal Guard can die due to that first AoE because a lot of the time you don't, he's got, maybe he doesn't have full health coming in, but because of the decreased defense and his passive combined, not a problem at all. He had over half health, and he lived, there's no point that any one of the team really was going to die. I could probably take Arbiter out and put someone else in because I really don't need that. I put another damage dealer in. So he does his role very well, and I think that's a key component there, is that if you need that decreased defense, he's there for you. I think next what we want to see is, of course, where we want to see him excel is in the clan boss. So we're going to take him there next as soon as my original video stops talking. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this comp. If you want to see individuals, you might have to pause it, but I do show you the stats of each of the champions here. But this is my Nightmare Clan Boss team. Now, what I want to let you to know is that I never progressed this team originally to a 1-key Nightmare Clan Boss team. I had actually progressed onto Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. You can see my original video on my channel here of the original Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss team that I did, so I never needed to bring this team to that level. So they've kind of the best I have ever done, and I had already moved Occult Brawler out. I think with him it might have been 29, but at Rowan I had a 32 million key, and that is the best I have done, and that was with Bulwark as the lead, and instead of Reliquary Tender in, and obviously I had I think I had Jareg on that one. It was Tayrel or Jareg, but I think it was Tayrel on that run actually. I know it was one of the two. They filled very similar roles, so to see this champion and to see what he can do. The other thing to keep in mind, this is Spirit Affinity, so I have to put that Reliquary Tender in. I'm putting her in not because I need her for the stun, but instead I'm putting her in there so that she can cleanse the speed decrease. The speed decrease is what makes Spirit Affinity so tough. Unfortunately, the downside of that is my Bulwark would probably put in 4 to 5 million damage, and because of his buff extension, would actually extend everyone else's damage by a reasonable amount. So what I was looking for here was to break a 2-key barrier. So if I can do 20 million with this team, with a very quick put together team of, as far as their gear, it's not min-max gear, it's not push to the limit gear, but if I can get this team to a 2-key, that's the goal. And you'll see here, the setup is just to get Reliquary Tender to use her debuff on the right turn, and then after that we speed it up and we'll run the rest of the turn. Other than that, you'll get a pretty good look at what Coffin Smasher can do, and hopefully this gives you an idea of what he can do. Like I said, you saw his stats. His gear is not OP. It's very kind of beginner, I would say. Actually, honestly, maybe mid game, because I didn't have a lot of lifesteal. I kind of stopped farming for a lot of different lifesteal. I was kind of concentrating more around speed gear, so I was selling a lot of lifesteal. I also have a lot of lifesteal and a lot of different champions because I've made a lot of videos. Anyway, so I'm going to be quiet. We're going to speed this up, and I'll see you on the other side, and we'll have some final thoughts. All right, I want to slow it down here just to give a little shout out. Look who's the last man standing. It is our lowly rare, and 21.94. That's an amazing result for just a first run, throwing it in there. I think I get that on Void Affinity, and I improve mainly his gear, and then slowly work through other gear, plus get a cult brawler, or sorry, get bulwark in there instead of reliquary tender. I think we're going to push that to amazing heights. I think this is going to be the start of a one key nightmare. Where to go from here, I just want to let you know I am also going to try a couple different things. I am doing an all rare nightmare clan boss team. It's something that I've mentioned in my other videos that I've been working on, but now that I have Coffin Smasher, I no longer have to bring in, I was going to use either Centurion, I believe it was, also Night Revenant, the one with the attack down with a weird mechanic on it. I don't need Bogwalker anymore, so I'm really excited to see where that's going to go. But that's it for this video. I hope this video was helpful and enjoyable. If it was, please give me a like and subscribe. If you have anything else that you want to know, please leave it in the comments down below. Or if there's any other video you want me to try, any other champion I have that you want me to 6-star and give a try in this or any other dungeon, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for joining in. I hope you appreciate the video. I hope you have a wonderful night. Be kind to each other, and have a wonderful evening.